coming from a place they call the H.
Yeah! Show your motherfucking hands for these two brothers. I got AJ, I got Jaraude. We about to give y'all a good show out this motherfucker. Alright now, Jaraude, let them know what we got in store for today, baby. Hey everybody, on this week's podcast of the My Brother and Me show, we have this week's picks on the playoffs in the NFL. Earl Campbell sauce, as well as haircuts. Hey, and don't forget, like and subscribe. Thanks. Have a good one. 1, 2. All right, man. So we here now. My Brother and Me show. Just to recap for my picks. What was that? We made those picks on Friday night before the NFL weekend. So this is just a recap and review of our picks. All right, man. So what was your overall view of the NFL weekend?
Man, I think it was nice. It was nice. And I like how it's a little, they added some more teams in there and everything. So I think it was really cool. At first I was like, man, I don't know, but I mean, it was pretty tight. I think that everybody, the games, I feel like all games were pretty entertaining. I didn't really, the Saints and the Bears, it was cool, but you already knew who was gonna get that. So yeah, but it was a good weekend though, man. I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, I think it was a good weekend too. Same thing. All games were pretty good. Some of the things hit that we talked about, and it was kind of found some surprises. But overall, I think it was pretty dope with them adding another team. I think it added another element where it gave you football all day, so it wasn't no blank spots during that time. Then it was interesting to talk about, well, if this team wins, then they're gonna play the Chiefs. Or if this team wins, they'll play the Packers or what have you. So I thought that was pretty dope to see. But man, let's go ahead and get into our picks. Let's talk about it. So first game to talk about is the Bills versus the Colts. What was the scores that we had? Let me go over here real quick. So what was the scores that we chose for this one? We didn't. I don't think. No, we didn't choose a score for this one. So the overall score was Bills was 27. The Colts was 24. Yeah. Yep. So I think I picked the Bills to win, and you picked the Bills to win. So what was your take on the whole game? Your viewpoint?
Man, I think they did their thing out there, man. I like what I see out of Josh Allen. I mean, the dude looked tough as nails, man. And I think that I feel like they're trying to give him the juice too soon, but it's like that JJ Watt stuff, I feel like they're trying to give him the juice a little soon. Yeah. But I mean, the dude balling. Stephon Diggs came out there, he balled up. Them boys got some mad chemistry. Chemistry.
They do.
And I think, I feel bad for Phillip Rivers a little bit. Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. But the good thing about it is that he balled, 309 yards, 2 TDs. I mean, he did his thing. But the big person I like, though, is Michael Pittman Jr., man. Look out for him next year. Michael Pittman Jr., the dude gonna be on he gonna be on something next year. So that's my take of it. Josh Allen, he did his thing. He balled out. I can't wait to see him next week.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought that Josh Allen balled out. I seen some stuff where I was like, wow, he's a really good player. But it was because I didn't watch the whole game. I kind of was doing things as I was watching it, but he did a few things to almost get a game away in a couple.
Always.
And I remember it was the same thing I was reminiscing about when they played the Texans last year. He did some wild stuff. I think he could do some amazing things, and then him trying to do those amazing things to get you in trouble. He got a little bit of Russell Westbrook at the quarterback position. That makes sense. But man, the way he run like he's big like Cam Newton,
running back,
but move like like Lamar Jackson, like the cuts, everything. I mean, he can do some crazy stuff on the football field, but sometimes it'll get you in trouble. But I thought, I was like, man, it got to a point in the game, I was like, hey, man, the fumble, a lot of stuff. I was like, they got close. But I think he got the personality and the poise to bring the Bills back. And I think they got a lot of good chemistry with Stephon Diggs and everybody. But we talked about this game before. We said we was gonna go with the commercial pick and we was gonna go with the Bills. It feel bad for the homie Phillip Rivers, but at the same time, it is what it is. It's the NFL, and everybody's story doesn't end pretty. So, but the great thing about the NFL is that they never stamp away your greatness just because you didn't win, like the NBA does, and at times with certain players. So I don't think Phillip Rivers is gonna be one of them guys where you're gonna have that stigma on him because he didn't win. I think his story and his legacy is pretty cemented, and it's cemented, but it's not a bad thing, man. But
no doubt.
But what was your overall? I mean, we talked about the impact players, man. Was there anything else on that game that you saw?
I mean, it was what we kind of expected.
Yeah.
I mean, next week is gonna be the week to talk about the Bills, but
yeah, that is true. But you gotta let them shine. You gotta let them move. Right now we just gonna let them have a moment.
But, yeah, they they had a little time. To me, it's kind of like the Saints and the Colts vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, no, the Saints and the Bears. It's kind of like that, So
yeah.
I'm like, it's cool, but I mean, Stephon Diggs. I like Stephon Diggs a lot. So, I think we're pretty good on them. Yeah.
And I feel good for Stephon too, leaving Minnesota and being in the position that he in now, playing with Kirk Cousins, and I'm pretty sure he saw some things, and then going to a new team with a talented quarterback like Josh Allen. But I thought it was pretty dope to see them win and to do their thing. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next game, and that was your game, your squad, the Rams and the Seahawks. That game ended up being 30-20. It was a little disappointment on my end, but I'll let you go ahead and give your overall take of that game.
Listen, man, little Metcalf, he ended up doing it. It looked like on paper, it looked like he did his thing. Mm-hmm. But when you watch the game, it's like, nah. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, it was like luck plays. You know what I'm saying? It was like luck plays. Yeah. But we came out there with the defense.
Yep.
And I was scared when I saw Jared Goff getting that game, because I was like, damn, man, I hope we don't start turning shit over,
Yeah.
But he didn't. He didn't. He played a safe game, and Cam Akers came out there and balled up. I can't wait to see Cam next week. I mean, it was a good game. Listen, Jalen Ramsey, bro, I'm telling you, watch him next week. Watch Jalen Ramsey next week. The one thing though is that with Seahawks,
mm-hmm.
what they gonna have to do, dog. I get it, dog. They trying to put Russ the face of the franchise, all that kind of stuff. I got it, dog. I feel it. But he could be that without, just off of his leadership and personality. Mm-hmm. He could be that just off of that. He does not necessarily have to throw all of the yards and be the safe, get the game-winning touchdown. And I feel like they do that with him a lot, where they want him to be the reason why they're winning. Mm-hmm. But I said to myself, okay, now imagine if he would have had somebody to let's say Marshawn Lynch, to throw, to hand the ball off to, right? Mm-hmm. A few times in that game, like Jared Goff had Cam Akers. They probably would have beat us. You get what I'm saying? If they would have had a balanced game plan like that, but I think they're trying to run too much through Russell Wilson. But and I feel like every time they do that, they die. So I'm glad they did this week, and I think that's all I got to say about that. But Metcalf did his thing. But our defense is just too. I'm telling you, man. Oh man, Williams on the defense, man. He got that pick six. That dude, I'm trying to tell you, that boy like a young Malcolm Butler. That's the one that got that pick in the Super Bowl. Malcolm Butler.
Yeah. You come out against
bro,
the
he like a young one.
Seahawks.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I'm excited, man. I can't wait for next week. Yeah. And bye Hawks, man.
Nah, hey, I agree with you because that's what I was going to hit on. I think looking at the numbers, Akers had 131 yards, Goff had 155 yards, 1 touchdown. Cooper Kupp had 78 yards. To me, they're like a team win, and they dominated the game. It was what
They
we
didn't
talked
care
about.
who won it or not.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't care about style points, and I mean, that's the makings of a Super Bowl squad. I mean, you don't have to have your quarterback throwing for. Listen, they probably would have lost if Jared Goff would have threw for 150 more yards. You know, it probably had about what I'll probably say about 10 more attempts.
Yep.
Probably would have lost that game. And that would have been kind of in Russell's favor, right? His kind of game, right? You give him the ball more times, give him a little more time to cook. But they said, no, we're not going to get you in the rhythm. We're not going to let you cook. We're going to run this rock, and we're going to get the win, and we're going to get out of there. And that's what they did. And I agree with you. The Seahawks going to have to find and identify another way to win and not put it so much on Russell's shoulders, because that's the same thing I thought about. I was like, man, he had this great start, but at the same time, a great start in regards to the season.
Exactly.
But towards the tail end, it wasn't looking good. I know they had some issues with injuries on a running back end. Looking at their numbers, I mean, it could have been better. I mean, Metcalf had a decent day, like you said. He got 2 touchdowns, 96 yards, but that doesn't tell the true story of the game. The Rams came through and dominated, and that's what we thought, and that's what we knew was going to happen. And the Seahawks are going to have to redefine themselves this offseason. And Russell's going to have to. I don't think there's anything wrong with his game per se, but they're going to have to change their identity and approach as a team. And I think if they do that, they'll look better next year. But man, I thought it was great. I thought it was a good game, but it wasn't necessarily. It wasn't a bad game to watch, but it wasn't a fun game to watch because the Rams just came in there and imposed their will. That was the only thing. Defensively, yes. They just came in and did their thing, and the offense followed suit. And sometimes that's what you got to do as a team. So I thought it was a good game. So congratulations to the Rams. Moving on to the next round. I think they're gonna still be a tough squad to beat. All right. Now, this is the game right here that we want to talk about.
Game, man.
This is the one right here. This was the what we talked about.
This was a good one, though.
The Buccaneers versus Washington. What was the score for that one? That one was 31-23 Washington.
Yeah. They scored over 20 points.
They scored over 20 points. I said
over 20 points.
I said 24 points. It just, it looked like the Buccaneers was having a little slow time, but this one is kind of like this one was kind of like the inverse to that Rams game that we saw, where you would look at their score and you would just think, oh, the Buccaneers dominated the whole game.
Right.
It wasn't that story. So what was your thoughts on this game?
I feel like what the Bucs did was, I feel like they didn't want to embarrass them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what like to me. It looked like the Bucs didn't want to embarrass them, but at the same time, I feel like the Bucs scored when they needed to score. They just kind of played it as they needed to.
Yep.
I don't think they wanted to embarrass them, but at the same time, I don't think that they expected little Heineke to come out there and ball the way he balled.
Yeah.
I love the dude's swagger. I like his attitude. I like what he brought to the game. Everybody on the Bucs did exactly what they were supposed to do. I like Leonard Fournette. He came out there, started. I didn't even know Ronald Jones was hurt, but he started and he did his thing. I mean, he looked a little sketchy throughout the year, but I mean, he did his thing. And everybody Grunt did his thing. Mike Evans did his thing. Antonio Brown did his thing. Everybody did their thing. It just like they didn't want to embarrass him, if that make any sense.
Yeah.
And because I think, a lot of people have respect for Ron Rivera.
I think so.
But they still came out and played a good game. I didn't even see the little homie, man, calling out Tom. I didn't even see him. I didn't even see Chase die. I seen him a couple times. He made a couple plays. But yeah, it was a really good game. For the most part, I just like watching Heineke the whole time. That boy was out there playing his fucking heart out. So yeah.
He was going for the gusto. And that's what I enjoyed about watching. The dude ran for 46 yards. And I didn't realize this. I found out later on today that he played in the XFL as well.
Yeah, he played in the XFL. Yeah.
So shout out to the XFL, and hopefully they bring that thing back, because you can see he had a lot of confidence playing. I mean,
Yep.
it was a good game. It's good to see Leonard Fournette do great things. Coming out of, he's still a great player. You give a great player one game, they can show out. I agree with you. I think the Buccaneers did. I agree with you in the point that you made about them not wanting to embarrass them, but it's also of them kind of taking their time, pacing themselves, kind of like what the Lakers do in the playoffs, like not being too high, not being too low, not too much celebration. They know what they're there for. They're there to take care of business, similar to what the Rams are doing. Just saying, hey, we're gonna go through here and meticulously play our game. And then you also called it. Antonio Brown had a good day as well. He had some explosive plays as well.
It's just they didn't want to. I could tell they just didn't want to embarrass him. But next week they're gonna have to play. They're gonna have to play.
Oh, they're gonna have. And you know what? With them understanding that, they probably didn't want to show too much either.
Right. It looked like a preseason. Like, okay, let's just get our bearings under us.
Yep.
And Washington was a good defense to kind of do that with.
Yep.
To get ready for the Saints, because the Saints got some. Man, the Saints got some goons in that secondary. So yeah.
Because that's what I was expecting. That's why I kind of was expecting the score to be kind of a little bit low for the Buccaneers, because I thought that they were going to try to go for the gusto, hit home run plays. And, sometimes when you look for that home run, things could get ugly. So that's why I was thinking, but they didn't. They did. They said, you know what, we're going to run it. We're going to throw it when we need to. So, it was a good game. I mean, Tom Brady as your quarterback, you can – you put you in a good position at any moment. But it was a fun game to watch. I mean, Heineke, he was going ham out there, bro. And I was watching him. I was like, is it like a white Deshaun Watson to me? The way he was moving in the pocket and getting out of there and getting to the moves. I mean, he looked like he wanted to win that game, and I appreciate that. But I knew that Coach Riverboat Run. I knew that he was gonna come out and coach a good effort. I think the Buccaneers respected that, but the game was what it was. They did score more than 20 points.
a
little under what
my main thing. That's a win.
Yeah,
that's a Super Bowl for them.
Yeah, but they showed a good showing, man. It's a great opportunity for their future. Any veteran quarterback can go there and do some things. Any rookie, but anybody they pick up in the draft, they pick a late draft pick. Some quarterback can go there and do well, or they can trade for one. So, I mean, the sky's the limit for them.
But also, now that they found Heineke, they may not have to draft a quarterback, and they could put that pick somewhere else. Maybe somewhere in the backfield, maybe somewhere on the line, maybe somewhere on defense, like wherever it is, to match up with Chase Young. And if I'm them, I'll just stack that defense up, and we'll figure out how to score.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I just go for another DN, and we'll figure the fuck out like everything else. But yeah, I love the heart and the soul that they play with. They to me, the Bucks got them out of there, but to me, they played a really good game. They played really sound football. The Washington football team.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I loved every bit of how they played. They didn't just lay down.
No, they didn't lay down. It was a more entertaining game than what the score puts off. We're gonna talk about it later, but it was definitely more entertaining than the Browns Steelers game. But
oh my god, I got so much to say about that.
And unfortunately, that's the last one to talk about. But man, I thought this was a good game. I think as expected, we thought that some things were gonna happen, and the score is what it was. I wanted to make it fun and hope that there was an upset there to make it a little bit interesting, but it is what it is. I mean, I think this was a successful season for the Washington team. And when you look at what all they went through with all that quarterbacks, and they was able to top it off with a performance like that, bro, you can't ask no more from a young team like that. So that's that game. Bro. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one. All right. So we can you want to take a little break real quick, we can for the next half.
I'm gonna pause though.
Yeah. All right, man. So the next game, we going to the second day of the NFL weekend, wild card weekend. And that game was the Ravens versus the Titans.
Yeah.
So overall view of this game, bro. Like what were you thinking when you was watching this game and you watching the Ravens pretty much stifling King Henry?
I kind of had a feeling that it was going because they remember I was saying last week, the defense woke up.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not like with Henry, he's like he could ball, bro. Like I said, he's like the Michael Jordan of but see, if you notice with his type of like when he has these games, it's a high scoring game. You know what I'm saying?
That's
true. It's a y'all score, we score, y'all score, we score, y'all score, we score.
Yep.
And it wasn't like this.
No.
This was a y'all score, all right, couple punts, we score. Then like y'all score, you know, it was like that. So I feel like that kind of when the game slowed down like that, it messed up his momentum because he wasn't just being led to score because the defense was exhausted, right? Because Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins was like methodically moving up the field, and that big ass fucking tight end they got, called his name Ricard. And they get 300 pounds, bro, could dance like Michael Jackson, right? So it's like, you know, I love that. I was so happy to see Lamar Jackson get off, and I was so happy to see his win. Oh my God, bro! I don't know if you saw Marcus Peters' interview after the game.
No, I didn't. I did not. I saw Lamar's, but I did not see. I did not see.
I'm gonna send the link to you, dog. This nigga like literally was like this here. This nigga say. The little man was like, so how do you guys feel about the season? So and like, you know, he was like, how do you feel about the season? You know, and he kind of cut him off and he was like, we're not done yet. And then he tried to follow up. The dude tried to follow up with the same question, and then he got in the mic. He was like, I said we ain't done yet. But the way you know, he kind of hood. So
got that West Coast, yeah.
He kind of hood. So I was like, dog, when he said that shit, dog, I was like, oh my God. But when he got that pick and they all came out and you know, sat on the field and was celebrating on their logo, I was like, yeah, bro, like, you know, it was just a good game on both sides. But King Henry, it wasn't his fault. It really wasn't his fault. It was just that the game, they game plan, like, these are guys that get paid millions and millions of dollars to play this game. And I always like to say that because it's real. And they said, bro, you not King Henry, not today. And the fucking Ryan Tannehill, he did what he was supposed to do. But you know, they just the game plan that Baltimore carved up, it was spot on. It was just they executed it spot on, and they took him into the woodshed and cut the lights off and said, man, they did what Bane did to Batman. You know? And took him in the darkness, and they put a game on him that they didn't want to play.
Nah, they did. Because that score ended up being 2013, which we both thought it was going to be a high-scoring game. And it was a close game, but again, like that Rams-Seahawks game, the Ravens pretty much imposed their will. Yeah. If you would have told me, hey, D. Henry's going to have 40 yards, I wouldn't believe that, bro. I would say, man, the homie would at least got 75, right? But they not only did they hold him under 100 yards, but they held him to 40 yards. That's, bro, 18 attempts, 40 yards. 40 yards, bro. Like, they were trying, and I think, but they just crowded.
They tried.
They crowded the line of scrimmage. And they just didn't crowd it by position. They just by formation, they crowded by position. So when he was trying to run through, they just crowded it out. He had one run. He would have. I seen nothing but grass. It was like towards the end of the game. I think it was the fourth quarter. It was nothing but grass. It was when they was trying to come back. He just got tripped up. It was so many bodies right there. So shout out and kudos to the Saints for what they did. because I mean not the Saints, I'm sorry, but the Ravens for what they did because they came in with a game plan and said we're gonna win this game, and Lamar did his thing, bro. I mean the numbers speak for themselves: 136 yards, 1 touchdown, 179 yards. You know he had that 1 interception. You know I think homie was just trying to feel his way out, but I think he got to play his game. He got to be free. So big congrats to him for getting his first playoff win. But he looked more focused, bro. Like that's what I wanted to see from him. Just that maturation process, being focused. Everything ain't got to be a highlight. You know, you can affect the game like that last run he had, where he ran, then he jumped. Bro, you know how much that's better than a highlight touchdown. That's the nail in the coffin, bro. That's saying, bro,
that's the Russell Wilson
dagger in the heart, bro. I'm gonna kill you. He ran that thing towards the end of the game, bro. His feet was beautiful. He was cutting. He was getting chunks. He was getting them 20-yard, 25-yard chunks, just hurting them as they were trying to come. So, I mean, it was a great game. The running back, I don't know the running back's name. Who was the Ravens running back?
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins. It was Dobbins. Bro, that dude's freight train every time.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, bro. They got like one, I forget the other one name, dog, but when you getting beat, dog, they literally said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna stack up the line against with Henry, and we're just gonna line up all of our people in the backfield and with no receivers out there. And just keep running the fucking ball. They coming out there in goal line offense, you know, and running the ball all game long. And like every now and again, they throw out little Marquise Brown and Dez Bryant and stuff like that. But they just had like an.
It was good seeing the homie Dez out there too. He was getting a little crazy out there, but it was good. It was good to see the homie out there. Yeah.
And next week he gonna have a good. I think he gonna have a good week next week too.
Yeah, but now, hey, listen, bro. That game, it was good. I was watching. I was like, man, I wanted to see D. Henry do better. But when I was watching what they was doing, I was like, man, they came through and said, not today, bro. That's the beautiful thing about the NFL. It happens to all the greats, bro. It happens. Even the so-called GOAT, Tom Brady, he's had games throughout history where a team says, not today, bro.
Yep. In the NFL, they can determine who they're gonna let get off.
Yes.
Like an NFL team could say, nah, not that, bro. And that ain't gonna happen. You know, that's the one thing about the NFL. They can say, hey, not that part, nah.
So my question to you before we close out on this one, what do you think the Titans are going to need to do to that team to give them another element, to give them more depth on that offensive side?
I think the one thing they probably missing is, don't get me wrong, dog. Don't get me wrong. The Brown guy, I think, AJ Brown?
Yeah. Number 84.
He could ball, bro.
Oh, that's number 11, I think.
Yeah, number 11.
Yeah.
He could ball, but I think what they need is like a Marquise Brown to just like run a 4-2-1, like somebody that's gonna get that fourth person out the box. And I feel like because you could tell Ryan Tannehill, he got the new button to throw to him, bro. But nobody fears his speed. It's more like a Dez Bryant one-on-one type thing. I just feel like they're missing a speedster to just take a little bit of pressure to get that defensive foul a little bit back. Because Ryan Tannehill could hit it, but get that defensive foul a little bit back so Derrick Henry could just do, because the team is perfect. The defense is perfect. The offense is perfect. But it's just, I think they need a speedster either somewhere on that offense. They need a speedster to just kind of get that defense to creep back just a tad.
Who knows?
So that's what I would say.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what the NFL is going to look like or what roster is going to look like there, but they may. Fuller will be perfect for them. You're not asking him to do much. You know, you're not asking him to do much. You know, in that you're just asking him to take the top off the defense and be a distraction and catch a couple touchdowns. But I think the same thing. I think they're missing a speedy, shifty receiver on it because everybody's so big, so they can use a shifty guy. I could see let me not go in there, but I could see a Cook or somebody playing for them, or they draft somebody and get a little shifty guy, a little shifty receiver to put in the slide and kind of move around just to give them a little bit more depth. But I would say this, one thing I noticed, they showed this, you know how ESPN shows the like their little stats, and they'll show like some little animations and all those things. They were showing, you know, Campbell, of course, Earl Campbell, and they were showing Eddie George. I was like,
George,
But I was like, man, why they forgetting about Chris Johnson? Like, I mean, how you gonna forget about the G like that? How you gonna forget about Sonic, bro? I've noticed that. I was like, bro, how y'all gonna remember, like, just disregard CJ 2K like that, bro? Like, he was knocking it out too, you know.
He was.
That's neither here nor there. But that was that game.
Wait, hold up.
Go ahead.
Because you brought up the homie Earl Campbell, I gotta do something. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back.
Okay.
Had to show love to the H, man, out here in LA, man. Let me see. Where's my shit? My nigga Earl, man. I was at the dollar store today. And I went to the frozen section, dog. Got my nigga.
Oh shit!
My nigga, you know, represent.
Oh shit!
I had to represent for the
Still got that cheddar smoked sausage out there in Cali, dog.
That was the only flavor they had, but you know what I mean? I had to represent for my niggas.
My man got them jeans on, dog. That boy trying to show it.
You know Granny wanted to fuck that nigga, dog. Granny wanted to fuck that nigga, dog. Every time we went to food time, Granny would pull out that Earl Campbell. But I had to, you know what I mean? I had to put that out there. Shout out to the homie Earl Campbell, man. H-Town stand up. Man. When you brought it up, I had to do it, dog.
Now you gotta do that, dog. That's H-Town right there, bro. That boy got brought out the Earl Campbell's. I didn't know they had Earl Campbell sausages out there.
It's at the dollar store. I literally just bought that shit maybe like 2 hours ago. So yeah,
damn,
that's the dollar store.
Shout out to the OG. Feel me? All right,
big homie, dog. Big homie.
So next game, we ain't got to speak too long on this one. This was the Bears versus Saints. I believe the score on this one was, what was the score? Let's look real quick. The score for this game was 21-9. I watched this game. More so the game watched me, because I fell asleep on it. I took a long, good Sunday nap watching that game. But I'm not sure if you checked it out or saw anything on it. But I'll let you give your take, your feel for the game. Do you think this is one of them games where they were like the Buccaneers, but opposite of the Buccaneers, kind of like, man, we really ain't, we gonna go here and play, but we really ain't up. You know, we really not. They're motivated because they want to get to the next one, but it just, in a sense of, let's just get to the next round. Like let's play the game, get to the next round.
It was a boring ass game, but I'm gonna go deep with this one because this is I think it needs to be said.
Okay.
This one is weird because you got some race factors here, dog. Right?
Okay.
Where you got, it's like the quarterback is like a McCaffrey at running back, but for quarterbacks, right? The boy got a body. I mean, he can move, right? I mean, he's an athlete straight up, right?
Yes.
But the thing that's holding him back is the privilege of whiteness at the head coaching position.
Oh, gotcha.
At the head coaching position.
Okay.
Why is that man a head coach? How is he a head coach? I have no idea. When they interviewed him, what the hell did they see? Because if you can't do nothing with, I mean, Trubisky, I'm telling you, it looked like people could, let's just say that, it looked like he trash, right? And
You're talking about the Bears, right?
Right, the Bears, right,
okay.
Yeah. So with the Bears, it's like, and that's what I'm talking about, the privilege with the head coach, because Sean Payton is a dog.
Okay, that's what I thought he was going at first. Okay, I got you.
Nah, Sean Payton is a straight goon. All right,
I'm about to say Sean Payton.
You know, the quarterback. I'm talking about the Trubisky and the head coach.
Got you for the Bears.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, it makes it look like Trubisky can't ball, right? It makes it look like that. But I'm like, bro, if you give the Rams Trubisky right now, imagine, right? Because or if you give you know, it's a lot of teams that if they had him, let's just say, for instance, right?
Colts.
If the Saints, if the Baltimore Ravens didn't have Lamar Jackson, but they had Trubisky instead, and they ran that same offense that day, I'm not saying that he would have did what Lamar Jackson would have done, but he would have methodically ran the offense, and I think they would have won that game with the same score, right?
Yeah.
And you know, so Drew Brees looked the cool. The only thing I say about the Drew Brees stuff is that sometimes I'm just like, bro, quit trying to push your yards, keep pushing your yards over it. Like, he's just trying to get as many passing yards as possible right now. They could be at the 1, bro, and they just throw it all 4 times. You know, so I'm like, bro, quit trying to get the stats up. But they played an amazing game. I just felt for Trubisky because I know what the narrative looks like surrounding him, and it's not necessarily him. It's
That's
just
interesting.
that
That's interesting.
he doesn't have the support to be effective in the NFL, and so that's kind of my take on that whole game.
No, I mean that's an interesting take on what you said, because I think he does get a bad rap, but I just think he get a bad rap because just more so of him. But I never heard that take like you just said, which may be the case. A lot of times I heard some guys talking about just another subject, but they were talking about Boogie Cousins getting off. You know, sometimes it ain't the player, it ain't necessarily Boogie. The team got to find a better way to get him in a rhythm. You know, and sometimes you don't want to. A lot of times, what they're doing, and which is great about the game evolving right now, is that it's okay if you don't throw for a lot of yards. That's okay. You know, like if you can give us something, you know, that's efficient passing wise. If your completion rating is decent, then we can go with that. You can throw for 172, but your completion rating is on point. You know, that's a good thing. You got a couple touchdowns, but if you rushing for 65 to 100 yards a game, we'll take that too. And so I think, like you said, they're going to have to. They may have to shake it up. Either Trubisky's going to have to go, or they're going to have to find a new coach, or they're going to have to find a coordinator or something to shake it up. I really didn't. The game, I fell asleep on the game, so I really don't have much to say about it. But I think it was one of those look over games, like, the Saints gonna win. But I tell you what, you know, we ain't gonna talk about it yet. That's for the next show. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they chopping at the bit for them Buccaneers, bro. That game right there.
Man, listen.
They better not disappoint, bro. I don't want to see no blowout on either side. I want to see a game.
Well, I think it's gonna be a blowout, and the blowout gonna be the Buccaneers going home. But they finna blow the socks.
I know Sean Payton is ready. He is ready. And then also before we go, the blunder didn't happen. I was waiting for a blunder to happen, like you said on the last show. You said how it always we were saying something crazy may happen if the Saints did lose. It was gonna be something crazy with somebody. So crazy.
It might happen next week.
It may. It may happen
next week.
It may happen. So, you know, just stay tuned. But I hope the Saints don't. I really want to see the Saints go far this year, man, with Drew. And I just don't want to see them go out on a whackness. You feel me? So
no doubt.
No, I didn't want to cut you off, but it was a game. It was something to watch. It was something to have on, but it wasn't nothing to sit there and be like, oh, I'm looking for this person to do this. You know, Drew Brees gonna do his thing. You know, Sean Payton gonna do his thing, and you pretty much knew what the Bears were gonna do.
Yep.
You know, so that was that one. That was the Bears versus Saints. Now we gonna go to the last game of the weekend, the last game of the evening on Sunday, and that is the Steelers versus the Browns. Now, the score on that game was
48-37.
48-37, right? But that score doesn't nearly tell the whole story, right? You would think this is a
Nah.
high-flying game. I would say going into this game, what you had the COVID hit. COVID hit the Browns pretty hard, so they didn't have a head coach essentially. They had an interim coach have to step up. So the odds were against this team. They're playing against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. So they're going into the Lions Den to go against the Steelers. Mike Tomlin, Big Ben, all the horses ready to go. Everybody, the pressure is on. And the first play of the game, Marquise Pouncey just decides to just throw the ball over his 6'4" quarterback. I don't want to go too much into it, but what was your synopsis of this game? You had a huge build-up. The odds were stacked against the Browns, and they were able to overcome it. So what was your take on the whole game?
You know, in a way, I wanted to be upset because of how it went down. Mm-hmm. But then I said to myself, remember what Juju said?
Yes. We talked about that last show.
And I was so mad about that. And I said,
you did.
You cannot disrespect men that get paid millions and millions of dollars to put good film on, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like you get paid millions and millions of dollars to put good film on. They are watching you on the film, right? And also these guys, dudes that make it to the NFL, again, they are the best that was in their state. The time at their high school class, they were best in the at their universities, stuff like that. D1 athletes. I'm like, bro, you just don't disrespect that part of it, And I think that with that being said, it's just he did it, and it looked like on paper that he had a good game, but it was the damage was already done by the time he got started. And I think that, and what got me is that he was dancing, around the time when it was 28-0 on the field, right? And I'm just like, bro, like I don't know, man. And I just feel like it's all his fault, bro. I just feel like it's all his fault. Baker Mayfield, but aside from that, let's talk about the winners here. Baker Mayfield played a hell of a game. Kareem Hunt, and oh my God, bro. And see, I'm gonna tell you though, Nick Chubb, right? Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. What happened, bro, is that usually Kareem Hunt is the speedster catching passes.
Bro, Go ahead.
And Nick Chubb is the one mollywopping everybody. But these niggas switched. And one was, and Nick Chubb was the speedster catching touchdowns. And Kareem Hunt was just putting them knees on him. And I was like, yo, I mean, that looked amazing. I was very, very, very happy for Garrett. That dude, man, that boy is an unbelievable athlete. But I mean, they did a good job. Landry, I can't express enough about his leadership style, bro. Like that dude is a wise man, bro. And he know bullshit, he know fuck shit when he see it.
Yep.
And I think he put them receivers in the right state of mind. He's like the Draymond Green of wide receivers. Sometimes it ain't gonna be about his numbers, but he got the talent. He got talent. He just, Baker just ain't got it like that right now. You know.
Yeah.
But man, they did an amazing job. Poor leadership for the Steelers. It looked like they were not prepared. It looked like they had a disconnect somewhere the last 4 games of the season. And Big Ben, that fumble you was talking about, Big Ben did not jump on the ball.
Like
So
who? Like who? Like who
big,
did they do? No, I know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
who was
like yeah, I know, yeah,
who was the
like
other
Cam Newton,
quarterback they got
yeah,
on for not getting on that ball?
exactly about that. Yes,
Yep.
indeed. And
Yep.
and that, and I wanted to make sure on this show that
Mm-hmm.
we said that, right?
Yep.
Big Ben did not jump on the ball, and
Mm-hmm.
that's all I have to say about it.
And Big Ben didn't show up in a major way. I think, like you said, it was some type of disconnect with them. I was watching the game in real time, and I saw that play happen, and I said, literally, oh my God! Like when I saw that, I said, oh, this game is over with. This game
Yep.
is over with, bro. It's like somebody's head is not in the game, and sometimes this is the reason why you don't rest guys, right?
Yeah,
This is the reason
yeah.
why you don't rest
In
guys. You got to
football.
keep a momentum,
Mm-hmm.
especially in their place where they kind of stumbled at the end. They needed to keep as
Yep.
much, as much as they gave the Browns confidence. The Browns had, oh, make it to the playoffs. Yeah, and they got there, and you got to give it to Kevin Stefanski, man. However he coached this team, for them to keep their heads in the game and play that game, because they didn't look inexperienced playing that game. They didn't like they was in over their head. They came in and played, and that says a lot about him as a leader for his team to still go out there and do his thing, do their thing without him having to necessarily be there, right? Baker did a good
Yep.
job. I'm proud of Baker because I know last year we talked about him stepping up and that team stepping up. And they
Yep.
did this year, bro. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate what they did because it was a lot of good teams in the AFC this year. It was teams like the Dolphins who didn't get to make it in, but the Browns did. But the Browns showed that it wasn't a waste of time, right? They showed that they
Yep.
deserved to be there, and you got to give them kudos for that. In regards to the Steelers, like you said about Juju and all of them, and I was going to ask you this towards the end, is that we got to talk about the elephant in the room, and that's what did they struggle at in the last part of the year and in this game? They struggled on that with their receiving core, right, and with their running game. Well, we know
Yep.
two gentlemen that's not with them no more who are a big part of that, and Antonio Brown and got the homie name. I know his name is right at my lips. The running back.
Play for the Colts. Oh my God, why are we
No,
having this moment?
no, not the Colts. He played for
Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Le'Veon
sorry.
Bell.
Play for the Chiefs.
Yeah. Le'Veon Bell, the homie Le'Veon Bell, right? So you got two of these guys who are integral part, and the only person that's left is Ben, right? And I always feel
Yep.
in these situations, the universe is always going to show that it was something that wasn't right with all of them, but I thought all of them got their punishment in unique different ways, right? And so I think that Big Ben was able to, have his with Juju and Schuster. It's like it's immature, bro. It's just immaturity. Like you can say whatever we want to, we can say whatever we want about Tony Toe Tap. He
Yeah,
gonna
man.
still show up, bro. Like he is still and the little Connor running back, man, he cute. That's a nice little thing. It's cute, bro, but it ain't no damn Le'Veon Bell, bro.
They thought he was. They sure.
He never was. He never was, right?
They
No
thought
one
he
believed
was.
it. No one believed it. You can get across the street with it, bro. But ain't no offense to nobody unless you Christian McCaffrey, bro. If you ain't got the pigmentation, bro, I mean, you feel me? I just don't believe in it that hard. I'm not unless you Christian McCaffrey, bro. But
You
one more
red running back. I don't know about you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It ain't no thing. Feel me? But one more thing I want to say about Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, bro. I was watching Kareem Hunt, dog. Kareem Hunt is bigger than what you think, right? Like, and you
He's
look at his body,
big.
bro. He's very big, but he moves. But dude, that tandem is going to be hard to beat. Chubb is a home run hitter, game closing running back, bro. And
he's a game closer. Mm-hmm.
He's a game closer. So it's gonna be interesting. Listen, we know who they gotta play. We gonna see that. But that was my take and view on it, man. What you got to say?
I got one thing.
Okay.
Now, when Odell Beckham comes back next year,
oh my God,
what you know what I mean? What is his approach? Do he when he talked to himself the night before training camp? Do he be like, man, all right, I'm gonna just play my role this year? Do he come in with the same face? Do you come in with the oh y'all niggas did it without what? When he's saying, yeah, Jarvis Landry, you're doing a good job, dog. When he texts him after the game and stuff like that, is he low key salty? What is Odell Beckham thinking right now?
You gotta be, because the whole synopsis was when he got hurt, we was like, oh, the season is pretty much done, right? It could be two things. You can feel some type of way, which you human, you're gonna feel that way. Like to say that you're not anybody. I mean, come on, you're gonna feel. You want to. Man, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that. I want to know that my value was there. However, I think he has to come and play different, right? And now instead of being the main course, he has to come in and be a piece. And he has to come in and be very mature and understand he can't go back in there complaining about getting the ball, bro. You're gonna have to be Larry Fitzgerald, let the game come to you. Devontae Adams, the game gonna have to come to you, and you're gonna have to get your moments, bro. And they do need him. Trust me, they're gonna come to a point in this playoff, bro, where it's gonna get exposed that they need him. But I think if anything, if I'm him, I'm smiling and happy right now because now he can't run off and go do a trade, or maybe it's gonna be hard for him to do that now. But maybe you see, man, this culture, this quarterback, this squad, man, I feel good because next season I come insert into this. We're great because you can argue if he wants to go get a trade, what other team in the NFL is going to be as good as the Browns?
Right.
It's weird as that sounds.
Oh, I'm gone, but
no, that's weird.
That'll be able to trade for him. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
The teams that's good, I don't know if they got the resources to trade for him.
Yeah, so. But even if you go to the other team, they may not be. It's probably no different from where you at, and it ain't like it's just if I'm him, I'm happy at what I see. Because that means that we're going to have to build. Because I don't think they're winning no Super Bowl without him. I definitely don't think that. But
they can,
they can, right? It's the NFL, but I think they definitely need his contribution because if you playing against that Kansas City team, you need as much firepower as possible. But you need firepower that's going to have chemistry. You don't want to just have weapons. Those weapons need to flow. And I think what he's going to have to do is find a way to flow inside the offense. He's instead of doing these little trick plays, oh, you got to get Odell the ball. Odell just needs to play in the flow of the game and get his, bro. He can get 7 receptions, 100 yards within the flow of the game. It doesn't have to be forced, So, and I think it's good for Baker to get that confidence in him, not to throw it to him all the time, right?
Right.
It gives him so. I know last year we talked about it. I know we talked about this. I said how the Browns are gonna step up and use how they gonna get over the Ravens and the Steelers, right? And we did talk about that extra slot. Like, hey, it's an extra slot next year. They can possibly get that slot, and they did. They had a better season. Kudos to Baker Mayfield. He this is a great showing. Was a great comeback season for him. Great coaching. This is just good all around. But I would ask you for the Steelers, what are the Steelers going to have to do with this team? Because they still had a good season, right? But far as Super Bowl team being the Steelers that we know, what are they going to have to do to repackage or retool this team? Fine tune it.
Yeah. They lost Bud Dupree and a couple of All Pros off that defense. So we gotta also say that as well too. But it's the NFL. Yeah. But to me, I'm not even gonna front, man. I'm gonna be straight honest. I think what they have to do is I'll run it back with Big Ben. I mean, the dude still threw 600 yards, bro. I love the receiving core that we would have without Juju Smith-Schuster. And we need to get a running back out the draft. Because if we let Juju walk in free agency, which
they're not gonna do that.
I think they're gonna let him walk because I don't know when the last time the Pittsburgh pay the wide receiver.
Great point. Great point.
But when he walks, the receiving core that we have with Claypool and them, I'm like, that's the kind of receiving core, like guys that don't really talk much, like they don't have like that star in them, right? I feel like those are the guys that fit with Ben, and Ben can just fling it all around. And we need to draft another running back. If they draft another running back and let Juju walk, and they come back with that defense, and they add some stuff on that defense in the second round, third round, I think that's all we'll need. I just think that, dude, if Juju don't make those statements, we might be walking to another playoff game. And so, that's, but I tell you one thing, Baker looks like Oklahoma Baker. Like it's starting to look like fucking Baker Mayfield out there. Like it's starting to look real. It's starting to really look like Heisman Trophy Baker, bro. And I think that, man.
Do you blame Tomlin for this loss? Do you put any blame on him?
No, because I think that with Tomlin, dog, the thing that if there is any fault in it, is that he hasn't reeled in Juju sooner. But I don't really blame Tomlin, because this is when you blame the coach. When they fell down 28-0, they didn't lay down.
No, they didn't.
They still had chances to win that game.
They did.
Right? Big Ben still threw for 600. That's what that's when you see if you got a head coaching in your stable or not. So it ain't, and I know he went in. I know he got into their ass about it, because Big Ben turned the ball over. And it's like, with certain cats, man, like Ben know what he did. And, that's like, it's not going to happen like that for him again. I mean, we can't even, out of his whole career, we don't even know another game that he played like that in the playoffs before, right?
No.
You don't even know one, right?
Yeah.
It's just that this is the most recent one that's in our mind. But Mike Tomlin, he can't, so he could coach that because Big Ben know what he did, and he's going to hold himself accountable, and he's going to come back harder. But Juju, he don't know what he's doing, bro. Like, he don't think that what he said was idiotic. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't know what, he just like, nah, like, because he fucking a couple bitches in Pittsburgh, bro. Like, I'm just like, nah, man. Like he's really coming off of one of them niggas, bro, that was whack, couldn't dress, but they thought they could. But then you give a nigga like that some bread, dog, and like a name, and you can't tell him nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like Juju is coming off of. I'm not, bro. I hope he came back to the locker room and they ain't even let that nigga in the locker room. Like, bro, you ain't even in Pittsburgh no more, my nigga. Like, you ain't pads on, cleats on, everything, bro. You.
I think he said he did. I think they asked him, did he regret what he said? He said he did. Yeah.
All right, bro, you good. But you know why? Because he had 130 something yards. That's why. Cause he like, oh no, it wasn't me though. But you can't coach that, bro. You can't coach that shit, bro.
No, you can't coach that. So they're gonna have to get a running back. Question: how many years you think Big Ben got left?
He barely got this next one coming up.
That's what I'm saying. It don't look good.
It don't look good. I'm not even gonna lie, but I think they should do it. But I do think that Tomlin is ready to move forward with the backup. So we'll see. But Big Ben probably he got 3 years. To me,
I think he
got 3.
He got 2.
Because he was flinging that bit. I mean, that like.
Well, you're right. I think with a different tool with offense, another running back or so, like I'm talking about a running back that can really control the pace of the game. Like not, Connor's not a bad running back. He's not terrible.
Bro, he's a terrible running back, though.
I mean,
you know what? I'm gonna tell you this, dog. Okay. The only reason why we're talking about him like this shit is because he plays for the Steelers.
Yep.
I bet you if he played for the Texans,
he wouldn't even play. He wouldn't even start.
He'll be in the game and niggas be like, man, that nigga trash. So it's like, dog, like, and me, okay, let's get there, bro, because I wasn't even gonna talk about niggas' haircuts, right? I wasn't even finna go there. but you forced my hand, all right? When you got side parts and shit, you a running back. Now, if you was a receiver, you had some purple hair like my nigga Juice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Odell, like that shit works for wide receivers. But you can't have side part mohawk, bro. You can't do that.
Yeah, I'm looking at him now. I'm looking at his haircut right now. Yeah.
Like, bro, like you gotta get out of here, bro. And I'm telling people be like, oh, that shit, bro. Your hairstyle matters, bro. In pro sports, I promise you, dog. If your hairstyle don't match your position, I'm telling you, your day is coming, bro. So the basketball guys, the football guys will get you if your haircut is not right, bro.
So what is a running back hairstyle? Which one you got to get?
You either got to have dreads,
okay,
right? And if you can have dreads, right? Or you got to fade, or I'll even with the taper back. That's it. Like
That's true.
You can have a size cut if you want to have them cut, but you gotta have dreads, no parts on the side.
So what about Ezekiel Elliott hairstyle?
He let me.
Yeah, he had trash here, bro. He was crying at the end. It wasn't you like, bro. Just go ahead, cut a nice little flat top, man, and walk out the room.
He was cool, bro, until he did this nose shit. All right.
Yeah.
When he did the nose shit, I'm telling you, running back, it's just they ain't got the most swag, bro. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's fine. That's what a receiver does. Yeah. See, the only one that was able to get away with stuff like that, and he only had the all even, was Levy and Bell, because he had wiggle, bro, and he could play wide. He had hands. Yeah. He could do it all, right?
Yeah.
But bro, if you're a running back, dog, if we got any running backs out there listening, bro, you could only have dreads or some type of fade where, you know, it ain't got no parts in it and shit like that. You can have like the normal part, you know what I mean? You can have the knives. You get what I'm saying?
That's what Barkley got a nice haircut. He got a solid haircut.
You know, it's solid, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you though, that earring is why he got injured for the season. I'm telling you, it happened twice. This nigga ain't played a full season ever since that earring happened. I'm telling dog, if I'm lying, I'm flying, dog. When the earring came, shit got crazy. You gotta take the earring out, bro. And I promise you'll have better karma.
Or you gotta have a bald head. You gotta have. Fournette got the bald head. Fournette been bald headed since college. He ain't. I don't know. See nothing else.
Nigga, Fournette, that nigga been 38 years old in college. This nigga was 38.
Him and Adrian Peterson were the only dudes that you just be like, bro, get this dude out of college now. He need to go straight to the pros. Adrian Peterson, I swear, I ain't never seen Adrian Peterson with an afro. Like he got that, man. I cut my hair in the restroom.
Yes.
Saturday night before the game.
And still balling to this day, dog.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying? Still balling to this day, dog.
That's
like
true.
It is. Look at Marshall Faulk, right? Nigga had a bald head.
Yeah,
right?
Solid, bro.
Stayed solid the whole time, dog. And see, with Ricky Williams, when he cut the bald head, it was a little shoddy, you know what I'm saying? But when he came with them dreads, they matched his vibe.
Yeah.
He was a weed smoker.
Yeah.
So that's what, you know. But, you know, I mean, I digress.
And you gotta think about Barry Sanders. He had the super, like, we don't even know what it is. Just crop afro, like no edge up. Just
That nigga had a bob with no edge up. That nigga That little side thing wasn't even taped. It wasn't even faded.
Nope.
That whole
Nope.
He
had that. He had that Muhammad Ali. That's what he had.
Yeah.
Like that's what he had. Now you're right. That's a great point you bring up. It's the haircuts for running backs, bro. Because I'm thinking back now. Marcus Allen, like them dudes didn't have no crazy. They didn't have only one who had a little Jerry curl man was Walter Payton. That was it, bro.
But it's fine.
His Jerry wasn't out of control.
It was just a classic Jerry curl. But if he would have cut the sides, put a party in it, you know what I'm saying, and put like a loop in his ear, like down, it would have been like brother. But on the flip side, if you're a wide receiver and you got a bald head, grow some fucking hair, bro, or put a toupee on. Because I'm telling you right now, your season gonna be done. Like put a toupee on your shit.
Your shit. Who are running back right now?
Don't go out. Do not run routes with a bald head, bro. Do not run routes with a bald head, dog. Like it, nah. The only nigga that can run routes with a bald head.
Didn't T.O. had a bald head with one time? Nah, he just kind of kept.
Nah, it was a low season. Low season, bro.
Yeah.
But the only nigga that was running routes with a bald head, I want to say, was Jerry Rice, bro.
Yeah, Jerry had the ball. Jerry, that's the only.
But that's the GOAT though.
Because I remember Roy Williams had a bald head. The one who played receiver.
Look how long that shit lasted. Yeah. He went to UT. How long that shit lasted? It ain't lasted damn long.
Yeah. That's a good point because I'm trying to think of any bald head receivers in history. I can't think of them, dog. Like you're right. You can have crazy hair as a receiver, but you're right. As a running back, the only thing you can have is locks, bro. You got dreads, you straight. Because I know that's what I was gonna say. Because you're right. Because the dudes the two running backs for Cleveland, they got the solids. Like you got the locks, you got the straight up
straight up cut, bro. You can't go wrong. Nope. And they ain't went wrong yet. You see?
They haven't went wrong. That's a good point. What's it that hacker? Yeah, so we'll have to see. I think I forgot that Broncos running back. He got a little crazy hair. He used to have a crazy haircut too. I had like the afro.
Done. Patrick something. Yeah, done already. Don't even know where the fuck he at. Yeah. We ain't seen him. He went off last year and then he went off to the street. Now he probably selling insurance. We don't know where the fuck that nigga is. And I'm just like, you got it. I'm telling you, it's just, and he was a red running back, AJ. That's another one.
Yeah, bro. I mean, only red running back they did their thing was my G. What's the nigga name? Play running back for Texas. Arian Foster.
Arian Foster.
But Arian Foster,
I was very sketchy on him, bro.
He was.
I was very sketchy
on too. But he was a big yellow. You know what I'm saying? He was a big red dude.
That boy had legs.
He, you know what I'm saying? He kept, but his haircut didn't get crazy. Now he kept a straight fade.
It didn't get crazy.
It didn't get crazy.
Fade.
Yes. All day, every day. I ain't seen him with nothing else. Yeah, Aaron Foster was a straight running back, but even Jaraude had to get crazy. He kept it straight up.
Yeah, he didn't get crazy either. He was red, but not he was caramel red.
I mean, but this is what I think about it. Like if you big and red, like you straight, but when you like trying to be
Larry
shifty,
Johnson,
bro, you could be big. Eddie George, he wasn't red, but he was on that, But you could Marcus Allen was, but it's like you got either you super shifty and it works, or bro, like you just, I don't know what to say. Can't forget about my G for the Vikings, Rod Smith. But Rod Smith was just so fundamental. He was the essence. He was the essence of a year. He not trying to be all that, dog. He is literally gonna play the game like how he's supposed to. He wasn't trying to be nothing else.
If you got a handbook running back in football, like that is exactly what you get. Like,
yes,
Robert Smith.
Yes,
that's nothing extra. He just 1 + 1 = 2. Like that's all, nothing extra. And I mean, it was effective like a mother. That motherfucker was cold.
Yeah, he wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the strongest. Catch the ball out the backfield. He wasn't trying to do everything else. Dog. He wasn't trying to be fast. He wasn't trying to juke everybody in the room. He was like, listen, I'm going to catch this ball right here, get the angle, and know my place, bro. He was super solid. I watched a lot of them Vikings games, and he did his job. I wasn't like, oh man, he the coldest. Like, nah, bro, he gon', you know what I'm saying? He gonna get us what we need. But nah, bro. Overall, how'd you think the NFL? Like, what did you take from this one, and what are you looking forward to for the next round?
This week, everything went as scheduled, went as planned. Not too many fireworks, but it was a very good game. It was some very good games, very good stuff this week. I mean, it was entertaining. But I am looking forward to next week, and that content will be on the show Friday. So yeah, so I'm very excited for next week. I'm very excited to see a couple teams match up and do their thing, but I'm gonna save it for next.
Oh yeah, got you. Yeah, we got to save the sauce for next week. But I think it was a good weekend. I'm looking forward to the next round to see what we have. I definitely know we're gonna talk about more. We just want to close up the loose end from our predictions and what we talked about the last show, and on this show we just wanted to kind of wrap it up on what we saw from the weekend. But yeah, man, it was good, bro. As always, it's always a pleasure and a time, for us to get together on
Without a
the
doubt.
show and continue. We're gonna continue to keep pushing out this content, for people to
Yes,
see.
indeed.
Appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man. Peace.
Yes, sir.